Hi, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm not in the Joe Blog studio. I've decided to come out for a walk. It's a really nice day here in London, not particularly warm, but blue skies and not too windy. So I thought I'd come out, have a stroll, and decided to make a video whilst I was doing it, really just to give you an update on a few things, because if you've been following the channel, you'll know, firstly, I've made a few videos that have been entitled Not Long to Live. And that isn't me telling you about some terminal diagnosis that I've got. It's basically reminding you that all of us have a finite amount of time on this planet. We only have a limited number of days. Don't know how many days we've got. Nobody knows that answer. But it's limited. And so you need to make the most of every single one of them. So the reason I was making those videos is really just to emphasize the fact that if you're not happy, if things aren't going well, if you're feeling, you know, you're just sort of ploughing through treacle, things aren't really going the way you wanted them to at this point in your life, well, do something about it. Take control, try to change the course of what's happening. And I've been doing that because I've been on YouTube for over 5 years now, and as I'm sure you'll be aware, the majority of the videos that I've made have been about geopolitics. So we talked a lot about lots of different countries and the impact on the global economy. And that's been great. And it's been a really interesting journey. And I know a lot of people have really enjoyed it. But I'm trying to develop and move forward and come up with things that are still stimulating for me and for you. And it doesn't get too stale. And so you may have noticed some changes recently. I changed the Joe Blog's office, changed the look of that, changed the way I've done the videos. So I've stopped going through graphs and reading out tables, which got a lot of people very annoyed, going through things that were on the screen, saying, I can read those things, stop reading them out, so stop doing that. And I've been doing more of a sort of structured approach to the videos, and that's been relatively well received. However, the video views have been going down. They've been falling for some time now. Now, that might be partially because people don't think a lot of interesting things happening anymore, or maybe it was just because there was a lot of interest in the war in Ukraine when I was doing a lot of work on that, or maybe people just get bored of me talking and saying the same sort of stuff. So either way, it doesn't really matter. The views have been going down. So in order to try to do something about that, I've been changing things up, and it's not really had a massive impact in terms of positive change on the views. So I'm still thinking about what to do on that front, but it's obviously not quite what it was. And so you may have seen that I've started doing some food videos. One of the reasons for that was, firstly, I wanted to get out of the Joe Blog studio. I wanted to start getting out and about. Secondly, I wanted to do something a bit more social. So in a lot of those videos, I'm actually having lunch with somebody else who's acting as the cameraman. So that's nice for me because I'm doing something social. And also, I think it's quite interesting. You know, I want to share my views. It's a big market. Lots of people are interested in food. So I'm really happy with the way things are shaping. And you may have seen I've done a lot of afternoon tea videos. Before I started doing these videos, I can't remember the last time I went to afternoon tea, but I've certainly been to quite a few recently. Our sun's really got quite nice now. So I'm enjoying all of that side of things, but it looks a bit weird on the channel because I've got geopolitical stuff. I'm talking about Russia and Iran and China and the USA, alongside me having some cake and some scones. So it's an interesting mix, and quite a few people have complained about it, saying stop putting the food videos on this channel, put it on a different place. But it's all Joe Blogs, it's all me. So I'm going to keep them where they are. But in terms of what do I do next? Where does it go? Well, I'm going to see what happens over the next 2 months. I'm giving myself a 2-month time frame. So probably till around about the middle of June. So I'll carry on as we are just now for the time being. However, I think something needs to change, something different needs to be done, because clearly it's not working as well as it was. So that's giving me the feedback that I need to do something different to what I'm doing right now. So just wanted to keep you in the loop on that. You may see some changes, you may see some developments in the channel, but thank you so much to everybody that is supporting me. I get a lot of really positive messages from people saying, you know, really enjoyed the content, please keep it coming. It's really great to get a better understanding of what's happening. But alongside that, I also get a lot of really negative comments, and like most people, you tend to focus in on the negative rather than the positive. So for every 9 or 10 positive messages, you know, I might get 1 or 2 negative ones, and it's just unnecessary. I don't know why people feel the need to send me nasty messages and tell me, you know, that I don't know what I'm talking about, or that, you know, they heard all of this before and it's old news. For those people, I still don't understand why they're still watching the channel. Why don't they just move on and do something else rather than wasting their time watching it and then wasting my time by sending me messages that, you know, I'm not really interested in reading. So anyway, that's the way of the world. That's the way YouTube operates. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video really just to bring you up to speed on the fact that, you know, things aren't going quite as well as I wanted them to, as well as I hoped they would be on the channel at the moment. I'm working on it. I'm trying to do things better, to change things up, to make it more interesting, but it's not working that well. If you look at the views, they are a lot lower than they used to be. So I'm trying to address that. I'm doing different things, and that's going to continue. So if you've got any feedback, please let me know below. But I just wanted to give you the heads up that next probably 6-8 weeks, I'll be focusing on what's going on, trying to do things in a different way, and then there could be a big change coming. I've got something in mind in terms of the way that I think the channel needs to look in the future. So if everything doesn't turn the corner in the next 6 to 8 weeks, then I think it's time for a radical change for the Joe Blogs channel. So yeah, that's sort of where I'm thinking at the moment. I mean, I've done a lot of work over the last 4 or 5 weeks on the war in Iran, and you know, that's been interesting. A lot of people have been following that, but the views are significantly lower. Maybe it's because I'm making a video every day on the same topic, and so people are thinking, I'm just not interested. I heard the same sort of thing yesterday, that this is going to impact on inflation, and you know, I know that oil prices are going up and everything's going to cost more. Yes, I'm not interested in watching that every day. The reason I'm making them every day is because there are things happening every day, and if you just follow the mainstream media, you can get seduced into thinking that everything's fine. So oil prices shoot up from $60 to $100, and then when they drop back down to 95, you see a press article that says oil prices slump. Oil prices have fallen 10% in one day, and you think, oh, well, there you go. Joe Blogs is talking rubbish. Oil prices have gone down 10%. What it doesn't mention is the fact that they went up by 50% just before they went down by 10%. So overall, they're still up by 40%. They're the sort of messages that I'm trying to get across to you, to make sure you've got good perspective on, that you understand that even when that war finishes, there's going to be some long-lasting damage to the global economy, to Iran, to the USA, to everybody, basically. So, you know, we've talked about the reasons why that war is happening. So it isn't just about the economic side of things. If it was, then it would never have started. But there are some implications for everybody of that war. So they're the sort of things that I've been focusing in on, making videos about, but it just isn't working as well as it was. You know, it's just not quite as good. And like most people, I want to keep moving forward. I want to, you know, develop and hopefully get better and get more engaged with people. And maybe it's being more engaged with a smaller audience. Maybe that's the way forward for me and the channel. And it isn't about, you know, trying to get as many views as possible and trying to maximize the reach of the channel. Maybe it is about focusing in on certain things that I enjoy, that maybe you enjoy, and just having a nicer life. I don't know. But I wanted to make this video really just to bring you up to speed on what's going on. I mean, from my point of view, making videos, I'm still enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying making the Joe Blogs in the studio videos as much as I did 5 years ago. You know, I've made a lot of them, thousands of videos, and people are obviously not enjoying them as much either. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, just to talk to you about, there might be some changes. I think I need to do things a bit differently, just to keep everybody interested, keep me interested, keep everybody's mental health good. You know, mental health's a big topic these days. I mean, when I was growing up, nobody even heard of mental health. You know, it wasn't a phrase that had been invented at that point. Anybody who had issues with mental health basically were referred to as, you know, manic depressives, or people who got sorts of problems. It wasn't really discussed. I think it's more healthy. I was have to turn away because the wind is now blowing in my face this way. I think it's more healthy that we are talking about it in a positive way and trying to understand that mental health is a real issue for a lot of us. And I think staying positive, staying focused, having new things to keep you occupied, keeping your mind busy, trying to exercise your mind as much as possible. That's what I'm trying to do. When I say I'm trying to provoke some thoughts in my videos, what I'm really saying is that I want you to stay active, to keep thinking about what's going on in the world and how it impacts on you and your life. And really that's one of the main drivers of the channel, is that we all have something interesting to talk about, and we can look at what's going on globally and relate it to our own lives and say, okay, how does that impact on me? Is there any relevance of a war in Iran to my daily existence? And I can tell you that there absolutely is, for everybody's daily existence, for all the reasons we've discussed, that the price of things go up, but also I think where we are at the moment, we've got probably the biggest instability in terms of world peace and the biggest risk of a major war happening globally than at any time since the 1960s. We've got people in positions of power who are quite happy to use military to effect the outcomes that they're looking for, and that's scary and a bit dangerous and quite worrying. But hopefully it won't happen, but it's always good to be in the know as to what's going on and why things are happening and what could happen next. So there are a lot of the reasons why I make the channel, a lot of the reasons why I'm making videos, and I'm still going to do it. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video really to bring you up to speed, to say I'm not 100% happy with the way the channel is at the moment. That's one of the reasons why I've been making the food videos. I've got a new channel, which you probably are aware of, where I've teamed up with one of my friends, Naz. So we've got Joe and Naz. That's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying that. That's great. Recently went on a trip to Dublin and had a great time, ran around, did lots of food and drink stuff, and I think made some really fun, interesting videos, which are starting to be released. So hopefully you can watch some of those and join me and Naz on that journey. That would be fantastic from my point of view, if that you could watch that, subscribe to the channel, do all those sort of things. Really would appreciate it. But yeah, I'm doing it because I want to stay focused. I want to basically enjoy life, and YouTube has been a big part of my life for the last 5 years. I'd like it to continue being so, but I want to be, I want to move with the times. So anyway, I thought I'd bring you on this walk with me. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing me out and about. You can see the blue sky behind me now. It's still a bit nippy, but it's nice. If you haven't been out today, or you haven't been out for a while, or you haven't done anything for you, and why don't you go and do that? Why don't you just, go outside, take a little walk. It doesn't have to be a massive one. Maybe down to the shops, maybe down to the park, maybe down to the river. Depends where you live, I suppose, whether you've got a river or a park near to you. But just go out and about, say hello to people, engage with people, because life's for living. And whilst watching YouTube videos is interesting and fun, it's not that much fun, is it? It's better to go out and do things and actually speak to real people. So if I'm doing it, then you should be doing it too. So I'm encouraging you right now, next 24 hours, to go and do something that you don't do every other day. Get out and about, do something different, go and treat yourself, go and buy yourself, something nice. Maybe it's just a cup of coffee or a cake, or a bar of chocolate, or whatever it might be. It doesn't really matter. Just give yourself a little treat and think, yeah, why not? You only live once. I don't know how many days I've got left, so why don't I do something different today? So that's the message I want to leave you with today, and I'll be doing something different over the next few months. You'll start to see some changes, I think, but I just wanted to let you know what's going on at the moment, what I'm thinking, why I'm doing it, and hopefully you're on board. So if you're not, then that's a shame, but thank you for watching up until this point. So thanks very much for bearing with me on this walk. Hopefully you've enjoyed my ramble on my ramble, and it's made a bit of sense, and you're enjoying the videos, and hopefully you're going to watch one of those Joe and Naz videos at some point soon. But thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll see you again on the next video.